Hi, Amanda.
Welcome, Andy. Good to see you.
I'm glad to be here and I'm excited about today.
And too, we've got an awesome group today. It's going to be a
Yeah,
fun one.
yeah. This is it's a popular topic, it's an important topic, and our approach today is to just run through better ways to do all the different things. There's a lot of different things. And this will be a nice overview. And it's all been updated. So we're going to talk about modern methods and tools, including AI. Should be fun.
Be fun.
Uh, I don't know that we have. Hello, everyone. Hey, quick tip. I think that there is still and yet networking benefits for virtual events. So if anybody here would like to make some new friends, I suggest you maybe put a link to yourself in the chat. Maybe a link to your LinkedIn. I'll put mine in if you're not connected with me yet. Um, my LinkedIn has, it's called like the primary button. It's set to follow. You can ignore that and go to the dots and then click connect with me if you'd like to connect. But there's all kinds of people here. There's hundreds of people registered. So it's a chance to make some friends. And just being even a little bit visible in the chat may help others find you and help you find them. There you go. I love it.
Blowing it up.
That is beautiful. For me, it's a text expander. I type ZLI and my LinkedIn link appears. Okay, enough of that. Let's jump in. Time for the topic. Ready?
Let's do it.
Cool. I'm going to share my screen. We have one quick announcement first, which is that Content Jam has been moved from the fall to the spring. So this is the latest Content Jam is coming up here shortly. We do we don't work that hard to promote this. You may not even heard us mention it because it sells out every time. It's only a 100-person event. So this will be one of the very few times that we actually mention or promote it. There are still Content Jam tickets available. And April 22nd, we have a one-track, one-day, one-room event where some of the best in the business will be presenting. Who are our speakers, Amanda? We've got Christopher Penn.
Christopher Penn, Jessica
Yep.
Best,
Nancy
marketing
Harhut.
genius.
Yep.
Nancy's brilliant.
Yep. Yep. Look at these brains. These are really some of the very best. So join us. Come to Chicago. It's in a beautiful little venue. It's on the corner of Michigan Avenue and the river. So it'll be lots of fun, and I hope to see you there. Okay, enough of that. We are teaching lead generation today, and I'm going to jump in because we have, as usual, a bit more content than we have time. So this is going to be a relatively broad perspective, touching on many things. But here's our goal: leads every day. This is my the focus of my career has been for 24 years to help our clients create demand and to do so through organic channels. This is a business that we built to, there's 53 orbiteers today, and we've never bought an ad. Many of the things we'll be showing you today are the things that we do and that drive leads for us. This is literally a screenshot of my own analytics. 930 form submissions from last year. 64% of those were marketing qualified leads, and 33% of those became opportunities and proposals. This is sufficient. This is how we do it. This is actually the data. Um, Very broadly, you could say in one slide, the goal of digital is to bring the visitor from the whatever's happening in their life to your thank you page, right? From the traffic source to the thank you page. This includes a bit of everything in here, right? There's lots on that arrow. Panning out one more level, you could say there's really two goals: traffic and conversions. The traffic times the conversion rate equals new leads. We use the metaphor often, the cheese and the mousetrap. Uh, you can show us any analytics account, and we'll tell you quickly if the biggest opportunity is uh, search optimization or conversion optimization. Some sites very clearly fail because they attract lots of visitors, but they don't convert them. Other sites, very compelling, persuasive copy, excellent conversion elements, but low traffic. Um, Now, to improve both those two things, our thesis here in life is that we should do conversion optimization backwards, moving up from the bottom of the funnel. If conversion was a chain and there's a weak link at the end of the chain, nothing else you do will matter because there's a problem at the bottom, right? There's no amount of traffic you need that you can drive to fix, a huge flaw or a broken form or some problems like this. So we're going to go backwards, upwards through the funnel. And that's going to be how that's the structure of the next 50 minutes or 55 minutes we'll spend together. And that's also uh, a good way to prioritize lead generation. Start at the end and go up. You know, it's absurd to me, but there's marketers all over the world who are making another social media video when in fact, there's some missing piece of key information on their sales pages, right? The call to action has a low click-through rate, or the contact form is confusing or weird or has friction. So if you turn your sitemap on its side, you kind of get what we're doing here, right? We're going to improve the contact page, then we're going to improve the calls to action that bring people to the contact page, then we're going to improve the service page that has that call to action, and so on upwards through the funnel. We won't get through all these today, but that's the general idea. One more quick point before we jump in. Everything I'm going to say is best practices because I'm not looking at each of your websites, and best practices are nothing more than good hypotheses. The goal in digital is not to conform with best practices. It's to drive a bottom line outcome. It's to create a steady stream of qualified leads every day. So lots of weird things work. Sometimes best practices don't work. It's really everything we're going to show you. We're also going to show you how to measure the impact if you were to make a change that improves performance. So that's the proper way to think about best practices. Go test them. They're good hypotheses. It's a Brian Massey line, actually. Amanda, if you recognize that, I stole this. Let's give attribution. That's a quote from Brian Massey, who will be speaking at Content Jam. Brian from Conversion Sciences. Contact page. Ready? If this is broken, nothing else is going to help. If you have never watched a session recording, it's worth it to take a minute. And this is an actual visitor to our website. And this is an actual, that's their mouse cursor moving. That's how they're scrolling. This is a desktop visitor. And look at how fast they move. I'm never surprised anymore because I've watched dozens of session recordings. And it's just very, very quick. Look, this person made it all the way to the bottom. Now they're going back up. It's absolutely worth it to watch some of these. And here you can see this person's on the contact page. This person actually never converted. We didn't catch them. I don't know what happened. So what would improve the conversion rate from the form itself? Here's an example. The contact page. It actually has a nice bit of writing at the top. It's social proof, tens of thousands of people. It's specific. Use our products every day. We're in the cloud. We're here to help. But maybe we can get that to work harder. Here's the redesign. Get a quick demo. Sets expectations as this being a low investment. And the copy says now, you're about to learn how, not thousands of people, but 20,000 plus CPG pros, consumer packaged goods pros, do what? Manage 10 billion in trade spend. Specificity correlates with conversion. Lots of things on this page. I'm going to break it down. Instead of just tens of thousands of people, 20,000 CPG pros. Instead of use our products every day, manage 10 billion in trade spend. Instead of we want to chat with you, here's a picture of the person you'll be chatting with. See, what this does is it basically is answering more questions. People don't click until they have sufficient confidence. Confidence comes from clarity. You have to answer all this person's questions, right? When a person sees a form, who will I talk to? When will they get back to me? How long will the call take? When you answer those questions here, the person is more likely to proceed. Did it work? Measure it. How do you measure? With a path exploration. 5 seconds. I don't know. 1 minute, maybe. You can make this. Create a path exploration. And when you land on one of these, you have to click start over. It's kind of a weird GA4 takes some getting used to. Click start over, choose page path, find your contact page, and you can see, divide that number by that number, and you have the conversion rate of your contact form. Make a change, iterate, improve, put a face, set an expectation about how long the call will take or how soon you'll be back in touch. That's where the impact will be measured. That best practice I just shared is in fact a good hypothesis that you could then test with it, and the measurement would be done at a path exploration. Next, see how we're doing this? Going up. Next, call to action. Is it specific? Is it descriptive? What are the verbs? If we're trying to get our visitor to go over to the goal, we need to give her benefits. The stronger and bigger that arrow is, and the weaker and smaller we can make the cost arrow, the more likely she is to make it all the way to the goal, right? So a way to think about this is Visitors take action after doing a split-second cost-benefit analysis or ROI calculation. So make the return sound big or the investment sound small. This button does neither. That doesn't sound easy or valuable. So you want to make the button indicate that there's value to clicking it, or make the button make it sound like it's easier, like it's easy. This is the psychology of a call to action. Very absolutely worth spending an hour of your year thinking hard about the click-through rates of your calls to action. So instead of contact us, specificity, check availability and wait list. Oh, yeah, let's check availability. That sounds like I'm going to get some value from that. I'm going to see the wait list. Or schedule a time to chat with an associate. Don't worry, you're not spending money. Just chat. Just quick conversation. Here's a tip from Ollie Gardner back in the day. He calls it the kicker. We'll find a time within 24 hours. You can imagine how much better the click-through rate might be instead of contact us or request a demo if it's talk to an expert or something, or schedule a quick call, or again, if that worked, it's the same method. Basically, you want to optimize that. That is done again with a path exploration. Here the starting point for the path is going to be the page that has the call to act, the CTA. So I've got a web development page. We build websites, high performing, search optimized, conversion optimized B2B websites. My page that talks about that has a CTA on it. That's the click-through rate for my call to action. You can't do comparisons. You just would make two. Comparisons don't work in path explorations. But you could create a segment or a filter to exclude certain types of people, perhaps people that came from a certain traffic source are more important. What about just paid? Okay, just check paid, right? Because those are the visitors you paid for. Within a few clicks, you could create a filter to exclude all but visitors from a certain traffic source, for example. Or you could check mobile versus desktop separately. Those are all easily done through here. Mobile and desktop are actually pre-built segments. You just double click on that and we'll put it in this box. Theory. If you put a face near the CTA, which we did a minute ago, you saw Shelly's face, then that will improve the visual prominence of that part of the page. Guide the eyes, right? Human faces are a uniquely powerful format for images. There's no replacing it. There's studies have shown for decades that even from the day you're born, you're more likely to look at faces or shapes that resemble faces than other things. So that's the visual prominence of it. The name of that cognitive bias, it's the von Restorff effect. It's the Hedwig von Restorff effect. She discovered that pattern interrupters drive attention. But also, again, clarity. Who might I talk to? That's the person you might talk to. So I'm going to call, this is a presentation I gave recently, maybe chance one or two of you are there. Looking at this page, perfectly good page, right? Whatever you think about it, you may have personal preferences. I'm not expressing any personal preferences today. But look at the CTA at the bottom. Learn how automation can transform your business. Get demo. I'm going to try another option. Best practices, good hypothesis. This is my hypothesis. Schedule a 15-minute demo with an insights expert. Schedule a call with Bart. I think that would work. I think that would have a higher CTA. I think the warm color contrasts with the rest of the page. The face is a magnetic format for images, setting expectations about how long the call is, telling the visitor that this person has a certain credential, or I'm saying that they are credible or that they're an expert. And I use their first name in the CTA, right, in the button. Call Bart. Hey, that sounds real. Sure. Kind of disarming, right? Like a human face, like that's a real person. Wow. Okay. Sure. I'll try that. So, of course, this is a question about lots of marketing ideas, quickly move into kind of the political side where you have to decide, okay, who on sales is going to be there? It was okay to say that. Are we going to manning the phones? When to, so there's lots of other questions here, of course. I'm just sharing ideas. Next, whether or not this page has a visitor is an important consideration. And search optimized websites don't have some keywords on a homepage. They have many pages targeting many phrases. This is a huge part of what we do. I was on a call this morning about a client who is giving feedback on a proposed sitemap, and our concern is that there's some high-ranking pages that aren't being carried over or that will miss opportunities to target new phrases because their feedback was really kind of asking for more general pages and fewer pages, a page about solutions. No one's searching for the word solutions. So this is a big part of what a good web company does is, build search optimized structures for websites, a page per phrase. This is real page. The page is called What We Do, and it lists all the things they do. What if there was a page for each of these things? Would that be valuable? The point here is that Google does not rank websites. To my knowledge, Google has never ranked a website. It only ranks pages. The page is the unit of currency. The URL. URLs rank in search. That's it. There's not websites don't rank. Web pages rank. So when you think about that, the difference is pages are every keyword is a competition, and every page is a potential competitor. Keywords are competitions, pages are competitors. So you have to have a competitor for each competition if you want to win that battle. That site could win this battle. Return to work evaluations was one of the things on that What We Do page. That's a very low difficulty key phrase. They could win. If we built that, if I could work on that with that company, she would rank. She would attract qualified visitors. But that is, and another point of this, by the way, is that you realize soon that a well-built website, there are all kinds of pages targeting all kinds of key phrases. The home page is just one of many landing pages. Website owners and many of our clients sometimes just really over prioritize the homepage. If this is done well, there's all kinds of things that rank and rank for different kinds of phrases. Take a minute to consider key phrases. Key phrases are intent. That's what a key phrase is. It aligns with intent. So a lot of phrases have information intent. Person just wants an answer. A lot of phrases have such as give you some key phrases have commercial intent. Person needs help. Some key phrases are just people trying to get to a website or a page, or they're trying to go somewhere specifically. That's navigation. So kind of poetically, these align with the funnel. You're either every one of your visitors in your next deal is going to be someone who's, they're problem aware, or they're looking for help or answers and ideas, or they're problem and solution aware, and they're already ready to discuss this with a possible partner, or they're brand aware. Brand aware people, they're kind of skipping all the other channels. It's like a direct traffic visitor. They're just trying to get to your site. So information intent. What are the best practices for paid social media? Commercial intent. What's a paid social media agency? The only reason to search for that is you're looking for a partner. And the name of the brand. Okay, I'm trying to get to the site. Now, search is disrupted. Times are changing. Click-through rates are down. But here's my experience and research on that. Forever, we taught that content marketing, articles, blog posts, those target the info intent phrases. Person wants information. I've written 650 articles in my career, and a lot of them are like how to do this, how to set that up, blog image best practices, content strategy tips, blah, blah, blah. It's the money pages, the sales pages, the service pages that rank for the commercial intent key phrases. But when Google rolled out the featured snippets, nobody clicks anymore when they search for facts or definitions. Back in the day, people actually built glossaries with SEO in mind. Remember those? That was weird. But even then, there's still lots of phrases that have visit website intent. 2018, Google rolls out, people also ask. Now nobody clicks for short answers, but people still do sometimes have visit website intent. 2024, the AI overview appears. Now even long detailed things, if you just want an answer, even if it's a long answer, you don't necessarily need to click. A lot of those became zero-click key phrases. But the commercial intent phrases, I'm seeing this, still have visit website intent. Because if you want help, you want to visit a website, look at the options. Do they work with people like me? Give me examples of their performance. Who are these people? What do they believe? How long have they been around? You'll want to go maybe click on all the page one rankings, right? So you can check this for yourself. This is a 1-year comparison taken just like a couple weeks ago. And I've made comparisons, not segments, they're called comparisons, to separate people who started on a blog post, information intent visitors, versus people who started on a non-blog post, service page visitors. Service page visitors are not down. There is such a thing as visit website intent. People do still click through to pages, just not for the short answers. And so Now I'm going to show you how to align pages with phrases now that we have that context and the, got to keep these things in perspective, right? Search is disrupted and click-through rates are important. It's a waste of time to target a key phrase for which there'd be no clicks if your goal is traffic. Okay, do you have a page for that topic? People say, well, how come I don't rank for this? And I say, well, what's your best page on that? And they go, huh, funny, I never thought to ask, do I have a page about it? Here's a site map. I'm making up this like a paid social media agency. Homepage ranks for the brand, obviously. Homepage can also target the most competitive other commercial intent key phrase, such as paid social strategy agency. But they should also have a page for each different service. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever it's called. You make many pages targeting many other phrases. These are commercial intent phrases. But the blog is where you get all the info intent phrases. So if you don't have a blog, your site's just like an online brochure, difficult to rank for another reason. Your site won't attract links from other websites that improve its ranking potential. That's called authority. But the blog is really where we, put out helpful, useful stuff that gives us something to talk about in social and something for people to subscribe to an email and something for people to link to power search. By the way, you can have all kinds of other pages that are off nav or aren't in the main navigation. UX isn't impacted by some of these SEO strategies. Our optimization team will sometimes add dozens or hundreds of pages to a client site, knowing that those are very specific pages targeting very specific phrases, building up the weight sort of, the size of a site, the power of a domain, the number of, you can keep entering more and more competitions with more and more competitors. So that's how key phrases align with intent, and that's how pages align with key phrases. This is critical for generating qualified visitors. And that's my point. I said it twice already. I'll say it again. That's the third time. Okay. Now, you got a page. We don't just, SEO isn't just about using the target key phrase in the title, header, and body text. That's insufficient. That's just old school SEO. SEO is really about making the best page on the web, and Google believes it's a good page because it spreads its meaning out and covers all the closely related subtopics. Google has it's called an ontological library within which there are many, many entities. And the semantic distance between entities determines its topical relevance. So you make a page that touches on all those semantically related phrases, strengthens the relevance of your page. That's SEO. I made a page. I'm going to show you how I use AI for this now. I worked pretty hard on this one. Most of our articles are like a 10-hour content project. How to use SEO, GA4 for SEO. I targeted that phrase GA4 for SEO, but obviously I'm not just going to use the target key phrase a time or two. I need to spread out my meaning. It goes live. It's not ranking that well. It's like at the bottom of page 1. I was hoping for a better result. I asked AI, you're a semantic SEO expert. You are skilled in selecting key phrases that are related to the primary target key phrase. Suggest 10 phrases adjacent to GA4 for SEO, which it does quite well. I swear, if AI has a superpower, it's semantics. It's very good at semantics. It's very good at language. But I want more than that. Let's spread it out. Go a little wider. Expand the list. Go deeper into the subtopics with more semantic distance. Looks pretty good. These are legit related topics. Every one of these is, Search Console integration. There's all these things look pretty good to me. Now, because I'm a career SEO, going back to 2001, I have tools. You don't need tools for this, but if you did have a tool and you looked up the ranking using Google Search Console or SEMrush or this tool, Ahrefs, you can see all the phrases for which you rank, but don't rank high. I grabbed some of these because I knew that these were sort of relevant. It's another source for semantically related phrases. Add these to the list and show the full list. Ready? I got a nice long list of semantically related phrases. Now, my theory is that AI can then go make these changes to this page. I tested this, and I haven't written about this yet, but this is the first time I'm sharing it. You can see. I tell it to go edit 10 pages. You understand semantic SEO. You are skilled in using these. I'm giving you an article, suggest 10 edits to 10 sentences. that to incorporate phrases from this list and give it the page. By the way, I want this to sound nice. I want it to flow. I don't want it to be spammy. So make suggestions that improve the flow and clarity. I care about my human reader. Uh, I'm a dual threat marketer, right? It's not just cheese. I'm also focused on, you know, making something memorable and compelling and persuasive and, being a visible expert. Okay. So I ask it to highlight the changes. It comes back. That's the sentence I wrote. That's the AI's suggestion for the edit to incorporate a related phrase. It's fine. That's the sentence I wrote. That's the suggestion that AI made to incorporate a closely related phrase. So it's basically just taking the page and looking for opportunities. This is what people did by hand for decades, right? This has been SEO for years. SEO copywriting. It's semantic SEO copy edits based upon related phrases and striking distance key phrases. That's what they call it. Before, after. Nothing wrong with that sentence. Before, after. Look, this is, if I'd been focused on it more, I might have written this the first time. I wrote the sentence. We covered some key points. That's a human. I wrote it. I'm not, they're perfectly fine. But look at the edit. We've covered 7 ways to analyze SEO traffic. It's actually better writing almost, right? It's not worse at all. It's just more specific and yet keyword focused. What was the impact? I did that in November. I'm happy to report. Ranks number 2. Actually, Amanda, maybe you can confirm for us. GA4 for SEO, am I still up there? We're gonna, it's, no? She's looking. Uh, that article, SEO isn't just about, semantics are about targeting all those related phrases. So here's another way to report on that.
We're number
It
one,
used to,
Andy.
we were number 1 for GA4 for SEO?
Yep.
Wow. Okay, that's great. So I
Cool.
should make another dot. Are there like annotation tools in here? I could draw the dot. Annotate. There we go. One more dot. There. Look, I went up one.
There you go.
Yay. Yeah. Okay. That was silly. But what happens next is, and this is actually as important as ranking higher for the primary phrase. You spread out the meaning, you rank for many, many more phrases. Prior to those updates, oh no, is that going to stay there all day? How do I clear my annotations? I'm like a Zoom klutz.
No idea.
We might have to leave that. It used to rank for 384 phrases. Now it ranks for 531, something like that. See the difference? I just went to Search Console, chose a date from before the updates and a date for after the updates. There are no phrases that rank for only one. There are no pages that rank for only one phrase. If you rank for something, you rank for dozens, sometimes hundreds of other closely related phrases. Even if there's ultra low traffic, that's part of search. I did this. I've done this like at webinars and with friends and all different ways. Here's one that I did. This is a staffing company, warehouse staffing page. Did this page miss any opportunities? This is me uploading the page to ChatGPT. And then I'm using an audit here to review the page. You're a semantic SEO expert. You find phrases closely related to warehouse staffing, which it does. Add 10 more, which it does. And then I went to here's another tool. This tool recommends edits based on what the competitors are using. I'm inside of Market Muse, and I put in the page and the key phrase, and it tells me we used these phrases this many times. The competitors use those phrases that many times. Can I clear all drawings? Good, I got rid of that silly face. Thank you. So this is, so then if I download this report, so that's really, this is a semantic SEO recommendation tool. The phrase, the page, the recommendations. Now I export that report. Some of these are well covered. So I deleted the ones that were already well covered, and now I've got just this list. I'm going to give that list Control C, go into ChatGPT, Control V, and I ask it to make these recommendations, these edits, which it does. I copied and pasted in the page. It just added some paragraphs. Warehouse workers, forklift operators, temp to hire, temporary staffing. Those are all perfectly good use for closely related phrases. I think it's a bit cheesy to just paperclip new paragraphs to the bottom. But would that work? Well, if I give it back to Market Muse, copy it out of there, come into Market Muse, paste it into this. Look at my starting content score, 26. It thinks we need to get to 36. Then I paste in that additional text, Control V. Wow, 49. I have some misgivings about how effective this method can be, but that's SEO. Now you know. Um, okay, if that worked, you can measure that. Obviously, that's measurable. This is a screenshot I did this morning, actually. This is a GA4 report showing the performance of pages. I have made a filter. Just click to add a filter. Session medium exactly matches organic. Only show me search traffic. I've got a date range to show just month over month, year over year, whatever you want to track. And these are the changes to search traffic from in that comparison date range to these URLs. I don't find it useful at all to look at the overall top line search traffic up or down because you can't really take an action on that very well. Maybe just traffic tanked, find an SEO agency. But if you're doing the job and improving your clients' search rankings and organic traffic, you need to look at the URLs, right? Which of these pages is winning and losing? Because look, here's one that's down 10%, here's one that's up 13%. Anytime if you only click once in analytics to see a report, you're probably not finding insights. You know, here I had to make a filter. I also filtered out irrelevant pages like the blog posts. And then I set a date range, and now I'm getting some ideas, right? So that's a point of view. I'm going to move on. We're doing okay on time. I'm going to move on to psychology, visitor psychology, conversion copywriting. Properly, I'd probably do this first and then search optimize it because really, if you're writing for conversion, you're writing for every source of traffic. SEO just increases traffic from one channel, organic. And that's lovely and important, and we all need qualified visitors. But conversion optimization increases performance for word of mouth visitors and referral traffic visitors and direct traffic visitors and social media visitors. No amount of high rankings and traffic will improve your performance if your conversion rate is zero, right? I say this from stages at SEO conferences. You people, you're all cheese and no mousetrap. We have to also focus on the bottom line. So I love teaching conversion at search events. I'm going to show you first the classic way and then the fundamentals, and then we're going to use AI to try to do the things um, uh, efficiently. So that's Nielsen. That's Jacob Nielsen. Jacob Nielsen publishes research on why people do and don't take action. The main cause of user failure is a lack of information. I can't find what I'm looking for, or the search tool doesn't work, or information. Fancy design is ironically a reason for failure. So here, our job is to increase the clarity arrow and reduce the confusion arrow. That's going to get her over to the goal. The way to do this is by understanding your audience. This is an example of a conversion guide. You take the conversion, you understand all their best questions, all their most important questions, all of our best answers, and all of our proof points to support those assertions. We're going to do all those things together. So while interviewing, and this is a intake process for every one of our web design clients, you have to go talk to the prospects or talk to the frontline reps or talk to the team and find out why are people looking for help, right? What else did they try? What were the alternatives? Did they work? Did they fail? What was the biggest problem that this visitor is trying to solve? Prioritization. When evaluating options, what was the most important thing to you? Now that they're considering these options, right? What's the order? What can they do now that they couldn't do before? And then when you talk to your reps, you can find some similar questions. These are different because you're talking to your frontline sales team. What questions are you people just sick of answering? You should know that, right? They'll give you a good answer. What should people ask us, but they don't ask us? Or what aha moments do they have during sales calls? Do we use any effective analogies to describe our work? Um, Fill in the blank. This is a really good one. Fill in this blank. People can work with our brand even if. If you finish that sentence, you are doing objection handling. Objection handling is one of the keys to conversion. You need to know why people wouldn't take an action on the page before you can improve the conversion rate. Okay, there's more stuff in this deck, but let me just jump to how that gets implemented. The marketing talks to the client to find out what the most important options are, and then you know how to build the page. Marketing talks to the client to find out what problems they're trying to solve, and then you know how to build the page. Marketing talks to clients to find out what the impact is of the work you do, and now you know how to build the page. In other words, you really don't know how to make a web page until you understand your audience's information needs, until you know what wins the sales conversation, until you know what are the key information. Think of it this way. There's a true story in the life of every visitor to every one of your web pages. If you don't know that, how are you going to sell to them? Right? Marketing and sales are closely related in this context. Your job is to give this person sufficient confidence to click the call to action. So there's lots of methods and ways in which, and objection handling. People always ask us if they can cancel their contract. Okay, what do we tell them? Of course you can cancel your contract. Cancel it anytime. Read the contract. It's month to month. Damn it, we didn't tell people that on our page. So then you put that. I'd put that one down by the call to action. Okay, so there's all kinds of ways in which these pages need to satisfy information needs. That's largely what conversion's all about. Now I'm going to show you a conversion check. We're building custom GPTs and refining prompts to allow us to confirm that there were no gaps on pages. Here's an example. I was in a workshop with this YPO, you may have heard, organization, Young Presidents Organization. And there's a company in there that has a aromatherapy product called Centered. It's actually a balm. And I'm looking at this page, and I'm not the target audience. I don't know much about it. They give us the demographics, the general demographics, which I upload as a PDF. And now I'm looking at this, and here's a simple prompt. You're a conversion optimization expert. The best pages share common traits. The header is specific and clear. The copy answers visitors' questions. It also addresses visitors' objections. The order of the messaging aligns with their priorities. The page uses supportive evidence. The page triggers cognitive biases. I take the full page screenshot. I take the persona and this prompt. And what it comes back with is a review of the page and the possible gaps that are missing. So ways in which the page meets the persona's needs. Good, good, good. That's fine. Ways in which the page falls short of the persona's information needs. This method takes 10 minutes, not long. And what it revealed immediately was that the page doesn't mention if the product is allergen free. Is it dermatologist approved? Is it safe for all skin types? Objection handling is critical for conversion. If you're concerned about that and you land on this page, every website has a back button, especially if your visitor came from search or social. They came from a context where they saw dozens of other options. Very competitive. So we have to do a good job of this. And the list goes on. There's all kinds of potential opportunities here. And it makes a bunch of recommendations. And obviously, it's not just a tool for evaluating gaps. It's also AI, so you can have it write a edit if you want, if you could try that. In this case, I asked it to suggest an entire outline. I was a bit worried about the hierarchy. Conversion is partly about structuring the page such that the messages align with their prioritized needs. Suggest a new hierarchy, which it did. Okay, looks okay, great. There's a proposed messaging hierarchy that has a lot to do with conversion. Can it take the next step on this? It actually offers to. It's funny. It says, would you like me to make a mock-up or wireframe? Sure, go right ahead. The worst website in the world. It's hilarious. Can you imagine trying to make that into a website? That's what AI thought would be a good page. It's absurd. Terrible. Okay, this is worth extra time because a lot of pages fail because they just make general claims without support. So here we want to supply evidence and reduce uncertainty. Give the person confidence, triggering cognitive biases, right? The conformity bias, the bandwagon effect. Other people do this, it must be good. Um, Yet most pages are just piles of unsupported claims. Ask yourself this question. How many unsupported marketing claims do you make on your homepage? Are 6, 10? You can actually go count them all, but I've got a method now. AI can do that for you. And it checks against all the types. This is in the book. I wrote a book about this called Content Chemistry. That's a mostly complete, I believe, a mostly complete list of types of evidence you can add to pages. I'm not sure where I could look it up. It's in the book. You can get this wherever you get books. It's on Amazon. Types of evidence is it's in the conversion section. We are in that's section 4. Uh, Look at this page we made. That company is legit. You can't say that unless you're real. That company is legit, right? You don't have those badges unless you're real. Um, that company is not legit because that's a fake testimonial. Terrible in every way, right? Feedback from our clients is the biggest text, even though it doesn't really say anything. Testimonials on a separate page, even though testimonials pages rarely get visited. The testimonial is boring. It's also fake. That's not a real person. They stole my picture. People send me these. Andy, someone's stealing your picture. I recommend against making a testimonials page for the sake of conversions because they tend not to get visited. In this account, the testimonials page is the 33rd most popular page. Ask yourself, why did you put your best social proof on your 33rd most popular page? Obviously, you didn't intend for that to happen, but you never maybe checked to see if that was a page that gets commonly visited. The recommendation instead is to make every page a testimonials page. So we've got other slides in here about the structure of great testimonials. Text-based testimonials can include keywords that improves both traffic and conversions. That's a cheese mousetrap combo. Video testimonials are one of the most powerful things you can put on any page. Everyone's B2B lead gen website would be more effective with more video testimonials. I recommend budgeting and investing and leveraging. You put these high up on pages, you put them on the most popular pages. Some people invest a lot in these things. They're like great case studies, but they sort of tucked away too far below. Here's a method to let AI check that for you. I'm on a page now about custom staffing and recruiting. Is this the same? No, different page. I think same company. How many of these claims are unsupported? Lots of claims. How many of these claims are unsupported? Well, I've got an AI prompt for auditing the use of evidence. It's there's several ways I can do this. I'm writing a different prompt I think will be even more effective. But this one just says, you're a CRO expert, and the following are types of evidence. 10 types of evidence. Attaches a screenshot. Rate the extent to which the page does and does not use supportive evidence. This is a classic prompt structure. Rate the extent to which this does or does not align with visitors' expectation needs, align with the persona, align with these best practices, whatever the thing is, right? You can say, rate the extent to which it does or does not. It's useful because it's going to give you a broader answer. Which of these marketing claims are unsupported? Show your thinking. We've got testimonials and case studies, but there's no client logos, there's no success metrics or data, and there's no awards, badges, years in service. That company's been around for a long time. You may not, it's hard to remember this because you may have other pages that have that evidence. But remember, we're building a search optimized website where the visitor lands specifically on this page. So this page has to do its job all by itself. The visitor's not going to click over there to see for supportive evidence and click over here to see, if you can do it for them. There's just no one wants to click around and put the story together. These pages have to flow like standalone sales calls. The highest performing pages are keyword focused, use semantic SEO, and they emulate a sales conversation with your top rep. They walk through the things that a rep would say. If I called you and was considering the option, what would I ask you? What would you answer? What's your best support for that answer? That's how the page works. Answer evidence, call to action. Okay. This is obviously an opportunity. This is a list of all the unsupported claims. Custom staffing. How custom? Are these candidates even pre-screened? It didn't mention that. We find right fit candidates. How do I know is that true? Is there any data on your placement or retention rates? We've got a proven process. Can you please break that down for me, maybe with a visual? We've got a friendly professional staff. Well, how about showing me that by with some endorsements or reviews? This is actually an interesting example. You can't really say to someone else that you are friendly. You're the wrong messenger for that message. Maybe it's not obvious, but in marketing, there's messages, but there's also messengers. Who's the best messenger for that message? If it's something, you can't really say like we're number one, best on-time delivery, highest quality. Some of these things are not credible when you say them at all. They have to be said by someone else. So that's what social proof does. There's different types of evidence. Data is one, but other types of evidence are social proof. So those are when the voice, you use a different messenger. Um, that's like testimonials and endorsements, mostly ratings and reviews. If that's your site, don't feel bad. We've done analysis. We analyzed 500 websites and only 28% of homepages have any kind of evidence. It is crazy that people do all this other marketing in their lives, but they didn't even support their claims on their homepage. Look at your homepage and ask, like, could a startup born yesterday make all these same claims? If so, you got a problem, right? You wrote a page that I could make myself if I entered your market tomorrow. Frequently, it's the evidence is the only differentiation on a page. Look at go to orbitmedia.com, look at that homepage, and you will see a minor masterpiece of formats and messages and objection handling and evidence. Most of the page is evidence. Go look at an Amazon book. Most of those pages are evidence. 50% of the pixel height of an Amazon product page is evidence. This is the game. Oh, I forgot. In this deck there are mock-ups of high-performing pages that we'll include. Another thing we pay a lot of attention to is meaningful subheads. A generic subhead is a missed keyword opportunity. It's also a missed conversion opportunity. Look at this page. This is real. They wrote our solutions. I hate the word solutions. I love short, specific words. I dislike long, vague words. Solutions is the vaguest word in English, I think. It's like it could mean a product or a service, or it could mean anything. Anybody can say solutions. I've never seen the word solutions appear in keyword research. It's always a better word. Or just get rid of it. If they just moved that away, they would bring up the pixel height of everything below. It's adding pixels without adding value. These are also good examples. Our products? No, this is baking and pastry products. Ideas and insights from inside our bakery. And then down here, it just says, weirdly, it just says our customers. I read this paragraph carefully, and it's got the strongest evidence on the page. 100 years of quality baking ingredients. Literally the smallest thing and farthest down thing is the most compelling thing. The highest, most visually prominent thing is National Donut Month. Who's that selling? Fill your page. So ask yourself on any page, what is the most compelling, persuasive thing here? There it is. Is that also the most visually prominent thing here? If not, you have an opportunity to improve your conversion rates. Where is that measured? This is again, I made this morning. Here is a traffic acquisition report. Conversion rates vary by traffic source. It's now called the key event rate. I have excluded the blog posts because those visitors have only information intent. They're unlikely to become a lead. So this is the Orbit site, 1.2% conversion rate. I'm quite happy with that. Attracting qualified visitors, converting those visitors into a lead at a 1.2% rate. Look, there's some traffic sources that are even higher, right? So that's interesting. Organic social, very low. Makes sense, not surprised at all. And over here is your total number of conversions, which, by the way, conversion rates are important, but there's things that we do in marketing sometimes that increase traffic dramatically, which will sort of deflate your conversion rate, key event rate. Bottom line is what matters. That's the number that matters, the total conversions, right? That's what fills the sales pipeline, and you can make a call. That report, by the way, was filtered. I made slide that in to exclude blog readers, as I mentioned. Landing page does not contain blog because we put all of our content marketing program into a directory called /blog. Okay, I don't know why I put that slide in there again. I'll have to remove that. There are just a couple more quick ideas. One is to look closely at your other homepage, which is when you search for the brand, what do you see? In this case, people were looking for a demo, but the company did not have a demo. Call one of these a demo because someone's looking for a demo. This is the search results page for your brand. You can use a tool that will show you every phrase people search for when they search for you, keywordtool.io. It's free. Put in your brand. It'll show you all the related key phrases that people search for when they search for your brand. And then go search for each of those things. Are there competitors bidding? What site links are there? Make sure you tune up those pages. Are you related to other companies? What are your people also ask questions? Could you move those into your Google business profile? Do you have any reputation issues? Could you polish those up? What are the related searches? You will never see in a chart or report anywhere if your branded search results page had horrible, looked bad and low star reviews, and visitors didn't click, right? That doesn't show up in any report. There's no report that shows you the performance of this page, right? So kind of a problem. Okay. So these are just I'll share the slides, but these are just general tips about things to do after you review your branded search results page. I'm going to jump ahead to one more quick idea about content marketing. I'm moving upwards through the funnel, and I want to share something that I find super interesting. We know from research, Steve Rayson from the co-founder of BuzzSumo did analysis of 1 million articles and found what works. And from our own data. I haven't shown this in a while. I'll show this to you. This is a snarky take on websites, and I did it deliberately to be a bit provocative, where I made this list of things you should get rid of on your website, 13 things to remove from your website. And I make the case like PDFs don't belong on websites. PDFs are the rust of the internet. You only use them because you forgot how to update pages in WordPress and it's easier to upload a PDF. Like government sites are filled with PDFs, right? Like press releases don't belong on websites. They're not digital content best practices. They're sort of weird. Like for immediate release only, I don't get that. What's that about? Dates on blog posts don't belong on websites. If you have an evergreen content strategy, don't put a date there. It just makes your content look older faster. I make a video about this. The video is actually hosted on YouTube, and 775 people are sort of angry at me about my advice. I'm not taking it personally. I'm not very invested in these. I'm partly just trying to start a conversation here a little bit. But that's what thought leadership is. Thought leadership is not a synonym for content marketing. It's a categorically different type of content. If you cannot disagree with the statement, it isn't thought leadership. Seth Godin said this. Thought leadership is about creating tension. It's about making assertions. You have to be willing to be wrong. You can be certain that some people will disagree. There's multiple points of view for every one of the things in that article. In my defense, when I said don't put press releases on websites, my friend Michelle Garrett disagrees with that vehemently. Hey, Michelle, would you please provide a quote to disagree with my statement? I want to include you in this article. I'm not trying to be correct. I'm trying to start a conversation. I have her dissenting view in my article. Why not? I'm just moving the comments from the blog into the article. I'm glad she disagrees. It's more interesting for me and the reader. Okay, so these comments are pretty rude, a lot of them, all caps, hate, long paragraphs. People won't even watch the video because the comments. He says that I should let an experienced UX designer do the talking. I've been part of the planning process for 1,000 websites in 24 years. I have some experience in this topic. A few people did like this. How much value can you smash into one video? This guy doesn't like my hair. YouTube is rough. The problem in platforms where people are anonymous, the comments are just mean. What's wrong with people? Anyway, the topic triggered the comments. The comments triggered the algorithm. The algorithm decided to show that video to 300,000 people. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to use AI now to find provocative topics that aren't super controversial, right? But might be interesting. Here's a prompt for that. Let's say we're targeting office managers. What are some relatively mundane, almost trivial topics that office managers have very strong opinions about? Thermostat control leads to passive aggressive thermostat battles. That's definitely going to start a conversation. If I wrote that, that would definitely trigger 100% of you, 100% of all humans, right? Formed an opinion when they saw that. Excessive exclamation points, reply all abuse. These are all things that if you were targeting office managers, you could drop into a social stream, start a conversation. Is it okay to reheat fish in a microwave? People care about that. That's actually a topic that would probably get some traction. Suppose we're targeting radiologists, relatively mundane, almost trivial topics that radiologists care about. How to arrange images on a screen for viewing. The ideal structure for radiology reports. That actually might align with our value prop. Uh, the ideal monitor setup. This is an even sillier one. I know nothing about exotic animal medicine. But if my target audience was veterinarians of exotic animals, large exotic animals, I could find in seconds the topics that they're likely to care about. Large exotic animal veterinarians who work with elephants, rhinos, big cats, primates, and zoo have surprisingly strong opinions on a wide range of topics. Glove preference, dart gun versus blowpipe. I wouldn't have thought of that. I've never used a blowgun. This is interesting idea that you know, so it's just an amazing time. I'm not suggesting that you use ChatGPT to write anything here. You maybe don't care about any of these, so keep scrolling down. I think you could make a needle gauge guide, a visual guide for different species. This is the proper needle size for a zebra versus a rhino. I actually might click on that. I'm sort of weirdly interested in that. But use AI to generate ideas, and then you pick what you care about, and then you take a stand. You get behind that idea at least a few times a year. Put out an opinion piece. Very interesting for readers. Nothing to do with search mostly. I don't know what the best and worst smelling medications are for large exotic animals, but if my client was targeting, zoo vets, and I wrote that, you can imagine, right? There's going to be a conversation about the most annoying experiences to work with, for example. These are thought leadership prompts. AI is not going to take a stand. AI doesn't care about anything. They're going to lead to ideas that will make you super differentiated from AI. What questions are people afraid to answer? What false things do people think are true? What are the most common assertions least likely to be supported by evidence? Maybe we make a research report. What are the most important topics that are the least likely to be covered by the popular blogs? Humans cannot even do that analysis. You can't read every article in your vertical and then see what's missing. Brains don't do that. So that's we moved all the way to the top of the funnel. There's actually 40 more slides in here, millions of topics. We're going to break for questions, and I'll see if there's any input on that.
I have a
But
few
we were happy to
questions
put this
for you.
together. Go ahead. Great.
Okay. How do you write testimonials when you have confidential clients?
Excellent question. Joel Klick, he was asked this question once at a conference. He said, uh, your visitor understands, and keeping your client name, company confidential uh, isn't necessarily a problem. They may actually appreciate that you're respecting their confidentiality. So if all you can put is like the initials and the industry, I think that's better than an unsupported claim. I don't, I think it's understood why. So I don't think that's necessarily a problem.
Awesome. Lydia is asking, she's asking about ways to share evidence. Are people still using press and awards pages? And is there a better way to show that evidence?
Yeah, if you have awards and those awards have badges, put those high up on a popular page. Try to smush up the pixel height so that it appears above the fold. Trust seals. Awards and badges are trust seals. There's other types of trust seals, certifications, client logos, but put them in very prominent places. You can also make a page about awards that make it discovered, and there may be other benefits to that. But the biggest benefit to these is to put those small bits of visual credibility high on popular pages. Any landing page, if you're buying traffic from CPC or something, if the award doesn't have a badge, maybe design one with a little laurels, right? Make a little treatment on it and put that on the site.
Right. And then we have time for one last question. I'm using AI a lot now for content ideas. Is AI content likely to be penalized in the SERPs?
Nope. Definitely not. There's no evidence of this. Google has no policy about that. Uh, but I I prefer to make the article that I think should be written and write the best page on the internet for the topic first, and write it with all your counter narratives, all your strongest proof points, all your best visuals, all your contributions from influential collaborators and subject matter experts, and then go you do a round of semantic SEO to try to get it, make sure it checks all those boxes. But no, there's no penalty for AI generated content. And we're now in an era where Google is the #1 generator of AI generated content themselves.
Awesome. Well, we have like a bunch more questions, but we're out of time. So thank
Uh,
you,
I
everyone.
Thank you. I'm going to put just the link. I mentioned the book, but here's everything is in there. It's been recently updated. It has all the prompts and all the screenshots and the layouts and the um, best practices. So great. Thank you all for joining. Amanda, thanks for putting this together, and
Of course.
connect with us anywhere. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.